Nobody tells you this when you start, but the framework you pick in 2026 decides way more than your code. It decides how fast you ship. It decides how easily you get hired. And honestly, it decides whether you still enjoy programming a year from now. So let's cut through the noise. 5 frameworks, real trade offs. And at the end, a straight answer for exactly which one you should learn next. Stick around for the last one because it's the one everybody sleeps on and it quietly pays the best. Let's start with the one everyone argues about, React. Here's what people get wrong. React is not actually a framework. It's a library for building user interfaces. And that matters because React only does one job. It puts things on the screen and keeps them in sync with your data. That's it. Routing between pages, not included. Fetching data from a server, not included. Forms, good luck, buddy. And that is exactly why React won. It refused to make decisions for you, so it got adopted absolutely everywhere. Going into 2026, it's still the single biggest front end job market on the planet. But let's be honest about the pain. Learning raw React today is like being handed a pile of engine parts and being told to build a car. You'll burn your first month just deciding which state management tool to use, and by the time you decide, the community has already moved on to a new one. So here's my verdict: learn React, but do not stop at React, because on its own, it's an unfinished product, which brings us perfectly to number 2, Next.js. If React is the engine, Next.js is the entire car. Built by the team at Vercel, it takes React and adds back everything React deliberately left out: routing, server rendering, image handling, a build system that just works out of the box. And its biggest advantage is something React on its own genuinely cannot do well. It renders your pages on the server before they reach the visitor, which means your content actually shows up in search results. If you're building anything public facing, a store, a blog, a startup landing page, that's not a nice to have. That is the whole business. Now, the criticism, because it's fair. Next.js has gotten complicated. The mental model of what runs on the server versus what runs in your visitor's browser trips up experienced engineers constantly. And there's a real worry about how tightly it's tied to one hosting company. Can you host it yourself? Yes. Is it as smooth as they'd like you to believe? Not even close. Verdict: if you are building a modern web product and you already live in the JavaScript world, Next.js is your default. Not because it's perfect, because literally everything else costs you more time. Number 3, Django. Now let's swing to a completely different philosophy. Django is a Python framework, and its whole motto is basically batteries included. Admin dashboard, built in. User accounts and password handling, built in. Security protections against the most common attacks, built in and switched on by default. So where Next.js hands you a box of tools, Django hands you a finished building and just lets you rearrange the furniture. And here's why Django is having a serious moment. Python is the language of artificial intelligence. If your product touches machine learning or data pipelines or anything model related, your data people are already writing Python. Django means your website and your intelligence layer speak the same language. No translation layer, no second team, no handoff. The downside: Django's not the fastest thing in the world under heavy load, and its front-end story has always been awkward, which means you'll usually end up bolting React onto it anyway. Verdict: if you're a solo developer or a small team who needs to go from idea to working product in days instead of months, and especially if there are any smart features involved, Django is absurdly hard to beat. Number 4, Laravel. Okay, I need you to drop whatever you think you know about PHP, which is the language Laravel is built on, because the version of that language people love to mock stopped existing about 10 years ago. Modern Laravel is, and I'm saying this carefully, probably the most pleasant developer experience in web development right now. It has an obsessive focus on making the common stuff effortless. Sending emails, background jobs, payments, admin panels, live updates. There is a first-party, polished, beautifully documented answer for every single one. And it has a superpower most people miss. It lets one person build things that normally take a whole team. That's exactly why Laravel dominates the freelance and agency world. If your goal is to make money building products for clients, this is arguably the highest earning per hour skill on this list. The catch is prestige. Some big name tech companies still turn their noses up at it, so if your dream is a giant Silicon Valley office, this might not be your ladder. Verdict: underrated, wildly underrated, best choice on this list for shipping client work, fast. And finally, number 5, Spring Boot. This is the one nobody makes exciting videos about. It's also the one paying the most. Spring Boot is Java's answer to web development, and it's built for a very specific world: banks, insurance, healthcare, logistics, government. The kind of software where a bug doesn't mean a bad review, it means a lawsuit. And everything about it reflects that. It's strict, it's wordy. You'll write more code to do less. Your first project will feel like filling out paperwork at the passport office. But look at what you get. Java's type system catches entire categories of bugs before your code even runs. It handles enormous traffic with excellent performance. And critically, a Spring Boot application written 8 years ago still runs today. Nobody in the JavaScript world can say that with a straight face. The real reason to learn it though? Salary and stability. Enterprise Java roles sit at the top of the pay scale. There's far less competition because it isn't trendy, and those jobs do not vanish the second funding dries up. Verdict: if you want a boring, extremely well paid, extremely stable career, this is the cheat code. So, the actual answer: building a public facing product, a startup, anything that needs to show up in search, Next.js with React underneath. That's your stack. Building something solo, fast, with smart or data heavy features, Django. Building products for paying clients or you want the fastest path to real money on your own terms, Laravel. Building for a large organization or you want maximum salary with minimum competition, Spring Boot. And if you're just starting out and you want the safest possible bet, learn React properly, then learn Next.js. Biggest job market, and almost everything you learn there transfers to the others. But here's the thing I actually want you to walk away with. Every single framework on this list is good enough to build a real company on. Every one. The developers who win in 2026 are not the ones who picked the perfect tool. They're the ones who picked one, stopped second guessing it, and got genuinely, deeply good at it. So pick one today. Build something real this week. If this helped, drop a comment telling me which one you're going with. I read every single one, and if you want a full deep dive on any of these 5, say the word and I'll make it. Thanks for watching.